All right. And we're all unmuted this time. So
Are we?
we should be good to go. I don't think I messed it up this time. So let's get into it, shall we?
Do it.
Hey everybody, welcome to You Have to Watch This podcast. I'm Alan.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devin.
And today we're talking about the 1994 James Cameron film True Lies, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm not going to be able to do the Schwarzenegger voice right now because I've lost it. I've lost the voice, guys.
What happened? Who are you?
I don't know. Like, it's just...
Oh,
it's
no,
gone.
I'm
Yeah.
so sad.
That was like the basis of our friendship.
I know.
That's how we met.
I know.
Just young Alan in the corner of the banner going, ah!
Oh, I found it. I found it. There it is.
Oh, good.
Awesome. Thank you, Devin.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I had to find that phrase that got me there. So, yeah. So we're going to be talking about that. But before we get into that, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, man. You ever have one of those weeks where it's like Wednesday, but you're convinced it's December?
Yes.
Like, I don't understand how it's only
no.
July, like, or it's only Wednesday this week. Like, it feels like this week has been 8 months condensed into one, and I'm ready for all of it to be over. Give me Christmas break. I'm good.
I mean, I'm still on summer break, so...
Oh, I'm jealous. Tell me about all of your summer break.
There's not much to say. I've lost track of what day it is. I'm watching movies. I'm hanging out. It's just been a great time. Fireworks.
There you go.
The Wona Bottom Fair. Like, words cannot describe the Wona Bottom Fair, Devin. You know.
No, words certainly
Yeah.
can't. It is unimaginable.
Yes. But yeah.
Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm still recovering from my Saturday in Manhattan. I did about 20,000 steps via my watch. I'm tired.
Speaking of your trip to Manhattan, let's talk about it. We start off talking about things that we've seen in pop culture. Ryan, we're going to start off with you because you saw a Broadway show.
Yes. I've been trying to think of like what my first Broadway show was, and the only thing I can think of is that I went to go see the Rockettes, like when I was a kid.
Not Broadway, but okay.
Yeah, I know, but that's telling you this is my first Broadway show. Like, this is my legit first one.
Okay.
Oh, Ryan.
And we went to go see The Great Gatsby, which is a new musical out this year. And it's amazing. I sent a screenshot to you guys about who the actors were, because I'm completely ignorant about, like, play and show actors. And Devin, you said that was a great cast. I'm going to rely on you here to tell me who these people are. So,
Wow.
Who are these people? So
I don't remember off the top of my head. I did not come prepared for that. But I remember...
It's okay. I kind of
I
surprised
remember
you with it.
recognizing specifically the guy that played Gatsby from something before. But
Jeremy Jordan.
that was it, Jeremy Jordan.
Yeah.
I had recognized him from another Broadway thing as well.
Okay.
I recognize him from Supergirl.
Oh, no way.
He was on that show for
He
a lot of it.
he was in the revival of Newsies that got put on Disney Plus. That's where I know him from.
Okay. Of
Yeah.
course it's a Disney
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, of course it is. Devin, what else do you expect, man?
So, the actress that played Daisy, Eva, I'm gonna butcher that last name, so I'm just going to ignore it. Her first name's Eva. She's actually a, where is she? She was actually a winner. She was actually
Did she win a Tony for this?
won a Grammy and was nominated for a Tony. So, there's a bunch of other people here that were in like casts and stuff that were like Tonys, but whatever. Anyway, I get what The Great Gatsby represents for like American literature and history. And I get that. I appreciate it for it. You know, that it just, but to me, this is one of those stories like I read it once, I see it once, I don't really need to see it again because I get it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I get the twists in it that happen. So I really wasn't, like, as like, oh, The Great Gatsby, yes, I can't wait to see this. It was like, oh, cool, The Great Gatsby, okay. After seeing it, yes, The Great Gatsby, I'm so happy I saw it. Like, it's one of those
Yeah.
things. Like, it was great, and I can't wait to go back to see more stuff. 'Cause there's a lot of things playing. Like, I kept the playbill, which is right here, and it's got all the stuff on it that's still playing, like, right now. So, we were thinking of going, like, once a season. Like, going
That's
up
a
again
really
in the
good call.
fall at some point, then going up in winter. Because, like, we went to the Freedom Tower, we went to the Tenement Museum. Um, Again, we were all over Blower in Midtown Manhattan. Um, like, I had breakfast at at in an Italian restaurant in Little Australia. We had lunch at a Greek restaurant in Chinatown, and we had dinner at a French restaurant on Broadway. So, like, it was fun.
Uh,
Or off of Broadway, just off of Broadway.
I realized, by the way, for the theater nerds, the person I reacted to specifically was Eva. She played Eurydice in both the London original and Broadway original version of Hadestown, my like current favorite obsession. You had a really, really good cast, Ryan. I can understand why
Yeah.
you loved it so much.
Like, everyone, like, one of my favorite things about the play was that there's a scene in Gatsby where Daisy's husband takes him to, like, a sex party, almost. And so, like, he's trapped there, he doesn't want to be there. And so, like, there's a musical number, and every time someone, or, like, in the song, someone tries to, like, get him to join them or, like, do something, he looks really uncomfortable and turns to the audience and was like, I wanted to go to the Met. I didn't want to be here. I wanted to go to the Met. And, like, each time he gets more desperate every time he says it. It's great. But, like, that's just like one little tiny thing about, like, why I like the play in general. But I'm definitely looking forward to do more of this type of stuff.
Yeah,
So-
it's addicting. It's
Yeah.
real addicting.
Devin, what was your first
Yeah.
Broadway show?
My first Broadway show. Oh my gosh, I don't know that I want to say it because you're
Say
gonna
it.
make fun of me.
No, say it.
I think it was Aladdin.
That's
It was so good. It was so good. I mean, it fits with Disney
Yeah.
Devon, right?
yeah.
But I think it was. Oh, I lied. It was Rock of Ages, the eventual.
Oh,
Tom
that I'll make
Cruise-
fun of you for.
Yeah, go for it. No.
Yeah.
On Broadway, it was dope. The Tom Cruise version is not it. Broadway version was incredible. They gave you these little plastic lighters, and like in all the slow songs, they had to do this with. It was so much fun. It was
Oh, man.
incredible.
My
Yeah,
first
no,
one.
that was first.
My first one was Spam-A-Lot.
Oh, they're doing a revival here, and I cannot wait because I
Yeah, they did
still
a
haven't seen
revival
it.
here too.
Oh.
So Ryan, real quick question, because
Yeah.
I don't think you touched on this at all. Is this based on the Baz Luhrmann film, The Great Gatsby? Like the Moulin Rouge is on Broadway now, or is this just
No,
based
this
off of the
is
book?
It's based off the book. I mean,
Okay.
to be honest, if you watch the Leonardo DiCaprio version
Yeah.
of The Great Gatsby, it pretty much kind of follows the same beats as that. There
Sure.
are different scenes from the book that are in the play or that are in the musical that weren't in the movie, and like vice versa. My sister-in-law and her husband, apparently from what they told me, are big fans of the book itself,
Oh.
and they loved this.
Okay. So there's no like
So
Jay
fans
Z.
of the book love the musical.
So there's no like Jay-Z songs or Lana Del Rey. It's
To be perfectly honest, I am happy they didn't do that. They
Okay.
pretty much stuck to
Okay.
like, yeah.
meanwhile Moulin Rouge is like, yeah, we're just gonna throw everything at the
We'll
wall.
throw
and see what
everything
we
in
can
there.
do.
Well, I mean, that's what the movie did, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
mean, that's what every Baz Luhrmann thing does. Like, that's just. I was just worried that they're going to put Australia on Broadway next, so
Oh, who doesn't want that?
because Hugh Jackman would do it. Like, let's be honest.
100% he would. What else is he doing now that Wolverine and Deadpool's over?
Yeah,
He-
exactly.
And he wanted to do musicals to begin with anyway for his career.
Yeah.
He didn't want to end
Yeah.
up being a superhero.
Whoops.
Devin, what have you been doing overseas? Have you gone to any shows?
Have I gone to any shows? No, I'm going this weekend actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see one this weekend. Yeah, but I saw Hadestown was the most recent one. Incredible. Recommend it 100%. But no, actually, this week I've been watching The Bear,
Oh.
which are you guys caught up? Do you guys watch season 2?
I have not watched any of The Bear yet.
Alan.
I am going. So
It's about a cook, right?
yeah.
Oh, Brian.
So, it's high on my list. Like I almost
Yeah.
watched it the other day and then couldn't get Hulu to work on my TV.
Oh, that's a shame.
So I have to watch it on my big screen projector in the basement.
You poor baby. I gotta tell you
Um,
though, me watching it is specifically because I can't get Hulu here, which means I literally, and this is gonna be the weirdest sentence I've probably ever said, I can't watch King of the Hill, and it's killing me. Right? I want to watch King of the Hill.
They
but,
don't have that on
it's-
Disney Plus.
They don't. It is strictly a Hulu license for the same reason that I can't watch the Animaniacs remake, because it is strictly licensed to Hulu, and it is you cannot watch it over here. You just can't.
Interesting.
I mean, I have tricks and stuff, but like largely I can't. So I'm like, we're watching season 3 of The Bear, and okay, I don't know how much you follow like reviews of new seasons of movies or TV shows. I get that we're all nerds, so maybe you guys have like kind of heard a little bit of it, and people are like, this season isn't as good. This season is fine. This season is just as good. People just like to complain. The thing that this season doesn't do that the other ones don't is there isn't a literal countdown timer that's happening in the middle of the season. But that's fine. Give the characters room to breathe. They filmed season 3 and season 4 back to back. Sure, it feels like they did that, but that's okay. The characters need room to breathe like this. I think people are being whiny little jerks. This is my like Star Wars moment. Like,
Yeah.
I'll defend the bear like you guys defend Star Wars.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
We'll have to.
I want to watch this show. I've spent so much time in kitchens with my family that
Yeah.
it's gonna be a interesting watch for me. I think so.
I think it will be. I really do.
I'm excited
And-
for it. I just haven't gotten there yet. So
I mean, I think when it's going, it is some of the best TV. There was one episode of season 2. It's literally just, it all takes place in a single room around a single table, and it is 23 minutes long. And after the episode ended, we just went, that was it? Like, no one moved in the episode, but it was still incredible. Ryan, are you going to watch this? Can I make you watch this? Can I help? Can I convince you?
You have to fight against close to 23 years of the Food Network completely killing any drive in me to watch anything related to cooking ever.
All right, what if I told you Emeril Lagasse won't shout "bam" at you in the middle of this? Does that help?
It's beyond that. It's beyond that.
interesting.
We'll have to unpack that because I think I can chip away at it. I'll try.
You know that Doctor Who episode where he has to die like 5,000 times to chip
Yeah.
away at a crystal wall?
Yeah.
You're dealing with something that's probably 5 times thicker than that.
I
Good.
forgot that you got caught up on Doctor Who, and I'm impressed.
I'm
I
so
completely
happy
forgot
with that.
something that we did on
It
this
just
show.
tickles me.
If we can get him for Doctor Who, we can get him for the bear.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know what just happened to your mic.
Is it better or is it worse?
It's worse.
Oh God.
yeah.
Oh God.
I don't know what happened there. So
Can you hear me?
that's better. Yeah.
I gesticulated too much and
Yeah.
bumped the mic.
Check your recording to make sure it's still good.
Okay.
Yeah.
My levels are
Yeah.
pretty normal on the recording.
Okay.
now.
Good. All right. Were they not before?
You'll find out.
Oh boy. Guess I'm pulling it from the stream. Yeah. Speaking of defending things, we're going to talk about The Acolyte again. Devin, you've been getting caught up on this, correct?
I have.
How caught up are you?
I am on episode 3, so
Okay.
enough to get like a flavor
Okay.
of the show to see if
So
I'm gonna
you've
like
seen
it.
Okay.
you've seen the first few episodes that the
Yes.
internet came out and was adamantly against. What do you think of The Acolyte?
Yeah. What the hell was everyone talking about? This is a good show. I like this. I genuinely like this. There was like a point in it. I was like, yeah, Star Wars is cool. Like I was like
Okay.
my overwhelming opinion. At one point, someone had a yellow lightsaber. I'm like, oh, that's right, because the temple guards have the yellow lightsabers, and like that made me happy.
My problem with this show is that it shouldn't be a show. It should have been a movie.
Really?
Yes. Or they should have. My problem with the show is the way they space out the episodes.
Yes.
They get to a point in, I think it's episode 5, last week's episode, where the stakes are risen. And I've seen things now that I was like, my jaw was on the floor. I was
Really?
surprised at what they do with this show. And that's why I'm very hesitant to judge things based off of the first 2 or 3 episodes. Like, they're telling a story. You got to let the story breathe and let them tell the story that they're trying to tell. And when they get to episode 5, you know what story they're telling, because they get there, and it's very interesting. Like, I cannot wait to get the text from you saying that you watched it.
I mean,
So
based on this, I almost want to wait till the whole season's out and then just binge it like a movie. Because if that's the better format.
No, you can watch it. You can watch the episodes 4, 5, and 6 back to back and be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I would binge those 3 back to back. So set
4, 5, and 6 back.
set off like an hour and a half to just watch those 3 episodes,
Yeah.
because it's tricky to the way they're telling the story. The story they're telling, it would be tricky to do in a film, but if they're doing the episodic format, I wish the episodes were longer. And
Yes.
yeah, that's my biggest gripe with it. I think the storytelling is gutsy, and I'm excited for it. And I have
Really
theories.
gutsy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm.
Okay. I like the thing that I like so far is that sometimes it makes the Jedi look like arrogant jerks,
Yeah.
and they kind of are,
Yeah.
and I like that. Don't give me like squeaky clean Jedi. Like, give me ones that make very very bad decisions, but make them rashly and boldly because we're the peacekeepers here.
Yeah.
And it kind of, yeah, like it really shows the issue, like absolute power corrupts absolutely. Even if you have a strong code to follow by, it still screws you up. That's what
Yeah.
I like about this show. And they haven't even gotten to fully explain all of it yet. And I can't wait for it. This is why I have the opinion of like anything Star Wars I will watch, because I haven't seen anything yet that I've hated since I was a kid. And one of those things that you also and also I'm not someone that is going to push up my glasses and go, why do these standard Jedi have yellow lightsabers? They're supposed to be temple guards, and by the temples, not out doing missions. I'm not going to be one of those people.
Wait, did someone do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh no!
Legit, like people are doing that. Like people. Did you get to the episode with the cameo of that one character we told you that was in it?
Oh no, I haven't gotten to him yet. I know he's around though.
Okay, but like people in the 3rd episode were by the episode that he was in were complaining about like, well, he made this statement at this movie and that was later in time compared to this, and it's like the show's not over yet, and that goes to Alan's point. Like the show's not over yet. Give
Yeah.
it time. Like there's a reason why he gave the answer he gave,
Mm-hmm.
and if anything, if you're intelligent enough and like media literate enough to understand that, you kind of know where the show's going. And I really can't wait for it to get there, because it's
Yeah.
going to be a more mature ending to a show than what I mean, like every other new show that we've gotten, they've all been more mature.
And I
than the last
I
one.
will say this about where the show's going, because they do something that I think you can only do in a property like Star Wars. They use music to give you a clue, and it works so well. And
Oh
that's
shoot! I
all I
haven't been
will
paying
say.
attention.
Yeah. Well, you haven't gotten to that point yet.
Okay,
So
good.
When you get to the episode I was talking about, listen carefully.
You guys really make me curious about what is going to happen in this show.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, some of the things that I basically suppose are going to happen are like Osha and her sister are going to team up and take on the galaxy together. And, like, who knows if that's what happens? But, like,
Okay.
you know, that's based on what the little I've seen, that's what's going to happen.
Here's my biggest problem with the show.
Okay.
Why did they name her Osha?
For those living outside of the U.S., OSHA is the name of the organization that basically makes sure that companies are following safety laws for workers and other things around that same topic. So, like, when I was at work and I saw somebody doing something stupid, I would jokingly say, OSHA, 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 to get them to stop.
Yeah.
Because they were someone who annoyed me and I wanted to annoy them. Like, that's
Yeah.
pretty much what it is.
Oh, and then I saw a joke today. That makes more. It all clicked now. I had a rough day. It was someone in my prequel memes Star Wars group that I follow posted about how the Supreme Court wants to disassemble OSHA now, and someone went, "Man, the hate for the acolytes really getting out of hand, guys." And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
now I get it. It just clicked.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, so Devin, let us know next week when you're caught up on the Acolyte. We'll probably not talk about spoilers on the show, but we'll talk before
Okay.
the show.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to today's main topic. True Lies, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, among others. This is a 1994 James Cameron film. Jim Cameron, if you will. So one of the things
Does anyone?
One of the things that we've all decided to do on the show on our own is pick a theme for our picks. My theme for the next few is going to be 1994. So I've got a bunch of films. 1994 was a stacked year for films, and a lot of these are they're all celebrating their 30th anniversary. True Lies just had its 4K restoration and Blu-ray release, along with The Abyss, which is a film that Ryan's done. This is about the only James Cameron film that Ryan's not going to be able to make us watch. So, because I feel like we've all seen Titanic and Avatar. So, but yeah, True Lies. Let me read the description here off of IMDb. A fearless globe-trotting terrorist battling secret agent has his life turned upside down when he discovers his wife might be having an affair with a used car salesman while terrorists smuggle nuclear warheads into the United States. I've never read that out loud, and that is the most batshit crazy description of anything I've ever read. And yeah, we're going to talk about it. So this is a film that I saw for the first time when I was a kid. Do you guys remember Columbia House, like CDs and DVD clubs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
My parents did that at one point and got like a stack of DVDs, and this was one of them. So I got to see this then, and didn't really appreciate it. But I was like, this is actually kind of fun. Like I didn't know what it was, but I was like watching it with my dad or something, and I was like, this is actually kind of funny. Like, I really like this. And then I watched it years later. I was like, this is a really good movie. I like it fits the vein of action comedy, which I'm a big fan of. Like, it's Shane Black-esque. Like, it's very, like, it doesn't know that, it doesn't, like, make the jokes like Austin Powers. It's, like, very serious, but also, like, funny. It blends genres. You got the spy thriller, you got the comedy, you've got the romance side of it. And I really enjoy this film. This is probably my favorite James Cameron film. Fight me, Ryan. I dare you. But I'm curious, what did you guys think of True Lies? Had you seen it before? What was your take?
Ryan, you're probably way more knowledgeable on this than me. Do you want to go first?
Okay. So I saw this movie in theaters when I was younger. It was probably it was great to watch on theaters. I, re- I, re- I remember several points as a kid watching this, and one of them is where Arnold tries to get the horse to jump the street on top of the Marriott building.
Yeah.
Because in a theater, that scene is great because you actually get a sense of like how high up he is during that. But I've always liked it, but I haven't seen it since. God, I think the last time I watched it was on a tube TV. So we're talking high school or before, which is like the last time I saw it, which is funny because I own the DVD and that's how
Yeah.
I watched it.
I
own the actual like late 90s DVD.
Real quick, I'm mad at myself because I'm watching it on my projector and I realized I have it on VHS. I should have watched this on VHS.
Oh, wait, Ryan, do me a favor. Paint me, and this is really important to me, paint me a word picture of what the DVD menu for this movie is like. I want to look
Okay,
like
so
I missed
it is a late 90s or like mid 90s computer screen blueprint layout of a Harrier jump jet circling. And that is in a green like DOS screen. And then above and below are triangles that are facing each other at the point. And at the bottom there's just a hand grenade spinning on an axis that's offset. And then you've got play, extra features, subtitles, and audio. And the only extra features I had was the trailer, and the and something else that I can't remember. But it wasn't like any behind the scenes stuff. It was just it was just the movie.
Man, I love those. I miss those so much.
Devin, what did you think of True Lies? Had
Oh,
you
this
seen
is
it
so
before?
fun. No, I hadn't seen it before at all. I never. So, all right. Again, I don't mean to keep consistently doing these things. I, in my mind, thought, oh, this is basically different Total Recall. And was expecting that going into the movie. Didn't know what I was going to get out of it at all. And was really because I didn't even know what the premise of this movie is. So it was a really fun ride for me, not knowing where this plot was going to go. So I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's a fun movie. I really do. It's like you. There's that blend of action. There's that blend of comedy. There was one joke that almost made me turn the movie off. And the rest of it was incredible.
I'm really curious. I'm just going to ask now. What was the joke that almost made you turn the movie off?
Oh, he's in
I
that.
think I know what it is.
Hold on, Ryan. What is it?
Does it have to do with my favorite character actor of all time?
Tom
Is
Arnold?
it the used car salesman?
I'm having
your
a
favorite
blank
Bill
of
Paxton.
course, but Bill Paxton. Does Bill Paxton say it?
Is Bill Paxton the used car salesman?
Yes, he is.
Then he certainly says it.
What was it?
Was it right before he gets punched in the nose?
It made me stop the movie and go, well, hold on. For people that don't understand what line this is, he's describing Jamie Lee Curtis's body, and he makes the choice, and somewhere a writer wrote this, goes, got an ass like a 10-year-old boy. I went, what is this? Why is that what you choose? And
Yeah.
sure, you're not supposed to like Bill Paxton in the moment, but I have never viscerally whinged that much during a line delivery than ass of a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was it. The rest of it was incredible. I mean, I think a lot of the humor stands up or holds up aside from that one line, and I think it's supposed to make you gross. Like, you're supposed to
It's
think,
supposed
what
to
a
make you
person.
gross for him. Yeah, like it's supposed to give you that reaction like this is not a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, it does it. It does it effectively, but I went, blah.
Yeah.
I don't want you to defend the line. You're fine.
No, I'm not going to.
I've said my piece.
No. Okay. So yeah, this
Yeah.
movie.
That's the way to start this off.
So Devin, going into this, you didn't know what to expect. So it starts off with the spy thriller stuff with Schwarzenegger in the tuxedo. I saw it. Talking to Cassandra from Wayne's World.
Mhm.
Were you surprised by the shift in the story halfway through.
Yeah, very much so. So like, especially when he goes back home, I thought it was incredibly charming. And I didn't understand it because they were like, okay, passport, get for your kid, and I'm like, he's gonna go to his secret life. Like this is him spying, but no, that was just home life.
Yeah.
And like him, I thought that was so fun. Where like, what would that do to a marriage? What would that do to like a what does overtime at the office look like when you're just supposed to be like a software salesman, but you're actually a spy? Like that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it caught me off guard that like rewatching it this time, how long it takes to get to that, because there's a lot more spy stuff before it gets into the, oh, she's seeing this guy. Now I'm going to mess with her stuff. And because I always think that comes earlier in the movie, but there's more action before that. So, especially like the whole horse sequence. So
her seeing that guy like actually got me though, because like he does a convincing job, and if you don't know that's the twist, that the guy that she's seeing is only pretending to be a spy, if you don't know that twist is coming, they do a really good job of stringing you along that she's a spy. Like I genuinely thought for a long time this movie was a Mr. and Mrs. Smith situation.
Okay.
That like she was secretly working for Tina Carey, I think Juno in the movie. That she was working with her as a spy for her, and he was working as a spy for the other people. Like I thought they were on opposing sides.
Oh, really?
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Okay, so you thought there was a twist coming, but you thought that's what it was?
Yeah, like I thought that like that guy that was calling her was like her other spy handler.
Ah.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun when they find out that they're like spies against each other. Like, but that plot's also been done before, and I'm glad that this was like its whole and ultimately I think what it did with Jamie Lee Curtis's character was very charming, where like she is just what was she, like a secretary or something?
Yeah.
But then she goes on her own spy thing and she's actually quite good at it. Like I like that a lot.
She's a legal assistant.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
I'm just defending all of the legal assistants out there, because if someone says just a secretary, they're going to be very mad at you, Devin.
Also, I mean, just secretary was really bad of me to say. That's not what I meant.
And they know lawyers. We don't want to get sued.
Also fair.
Yeah, that's a very interesting take, because I never would have picked up on that. Like
the title had me thinking that there was going to be some major like mindfuck moment in this.
Okay.
So I was actively looking out for it.
Okay.
That's on me.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. So this came out at a time where Schwarzenegger made some choices. So Terminator 2 comes out in 1991. Here's what Arnold Schwarzenegger, acting-wise, did after that. He did a Nissan cup of noodle commercial. He directed a film called Christmas in Connecticut. He did Last Action Hero, which we've done on the show. He did this film, and then he did Junior, where he has a baby. Like gets pregnant with a baby.
Right.
So, and then Eraser, which is like a Schwarzenegger action movie, and then in 1996, Jingle All the Way. Followed by Batman and Robin. So, I think it's safe for me to say that 90s Schwarzenegger is my favorite Schwarzenegger, because he just did not care. He was doing things that were fun to him and worked with people he wanted to work with. I can't explain Jingle All the Way, but like he worked with Danny DeVito again. He worked with James Cameron again. I really like him in this movie because he's believable, and it's not like super over the top action heavy. Like he doesn't have a lot of the action after the horse chase. Like a lot of it is split. Like a lot of it goes to like Jamie Lee Curtis once she gets pulled into everything. And I think he's very he does the spy stuff very well instead of just a soldier. I really enjoy his performance in this. What do you guys think of Schwarzenegger as a spy?
From like the second I watched him unzip the wetsuit and take off like the wetsuit to reveal a tuxedo underneath, I went, that guy is gonna blend into zero crowds. How is he the people they choose to be a spy? But you know what? They make it really work, especially when he walks in and basically does a non-funny version of everything Axel Foley does, where like he like walks in and like orders the kitchen around, and then like walks up to some guys like, "Great to see you again," and like leaves them almost speechless. 'Cause he's like, "Yeah, guy," like basically just puts people consistently on the back foot. And, like that's how you do it. Like that alone completely bought me on him being a spy and being able to blend and be like memorable but forgettable. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing you have to be.
Hey, Colonel, it was nice seeing you again.
That was it. Yeah.
Colonel, it's nice
Yeah.
seeing you again.
Yeah.
Who was that guy? I've never seen him in my life. Who was that guy?
I thought it was good. I thought he was really, really good in this. And he does do a good job of like the hammy bits. Like even like the little like I think that he doesn't get enough credit as a comedic actor because sometimes they're even the little things that like sure maybe it was a direction, but he pulls it off so well. My favorite one was the kiss at the end with a nuke going off in the side, and he just like puts his hand up to shield their eyes from the radiation. Like what a good move.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the radiation. It's from the flash of the bomb going off. So
Oh.
they don't go blind.
Sorry, I only half paid attention during Oppenheimer.
Yeah. My thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I like him as a spy, but my Arnold Schwarzenegger is 80s and early 90s Schwarzenegger, where it's more of just like the action hero type stuff, like Commando and Predator and you know the first Terminator. Like that's my Arnold Schwarzenegger. But whenever people talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger, or like like something happens that brings him into mind, the one scene that constantly comes up first in my head is him dragging that little pipsqueak dog in the rain behind him. That scene is the first thing that comes to mind every time he pops into my head, of just like him dragging that like chihuahua down the street. And this get to me like kind of like gets into this, and Kindergarten Cop for me is when like I feel like in his career, to what Alan said, it was like he did all the action stuff, he got his popularity, and now it's like no matter what I do, people are going to come and see it, so I'm just going to do what I want to do. And then that's when he started doing more comedies than he was doing outright action films. That, and he was getting older.
Yeah,
and he was someone that liked to do his own stunts.
Yeah, and when he got bored of that, he ran for governor.
Yeah, he did. So weird.
One of the things that when you guys think of Jamie Lee Curtis, what is the role that you think of?
A Fish Called Wanda.
Okay.
Called...
That's a good one.
Really?
Devin, have you ever seen A Fish Called Wanda?
No, never seen A Fish Called Wanda.
That's probably coming up soon.
Yeah.
After my summer in '94 stuff, that'll be on my list.
So my first thing I think of with Jamie Lee Curtis is the 2003 Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan. I think that's the first thing I ever saw her in. Because I just did a quick search. I mean, that's her. This is gonna sound awful. This is the youngest in her acting career I think I've ever seen her.
Really? So you never saw Halloween?
No, never saw Halloween. I know that she's in the new ones because she was in the old ones, but no, never saw them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's got to change.
Yeah, never saw Escape from New York.
If only there was a holiday.
You've never seen Escape from New York?
No.
You know, I'm glad you said Freaky Friday and not like the Activia commercials. So.
Yes.
I mean, probably that too.
Yes, that's. I am adding Escape from New York onto my thing.
Good.
Well, and then My Girl was before this too. You were on the show for My Girl, right, Devin?
No, I didn't see
No?
My Girl.
Oh man.
No, that's the one where you keep making jokes about bees that I don't
Yeah.
get. Yeah, I don't. I don't get it.
If I had to give it a letter grade, it'd be a B plus.
Sure.
Hashtag B movie.
Yep.
Oh man.
Sure
Uh,
is.
Ryan, what do you think of when you think of Jamie Lee Curtis? Oh, you said a Fish Called Wanda, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I said A Fish Called Wanda, but I mean, unjokingly, it's Halloween. It's the Halloween movies, A Fish Called Wanda, and whenever someone that I know of hasn't seen True Lies and they watch this movie and afterwards they make some comment about never looking at Jamie Lee Curtis that way, I'm like, well, maybe you should watch A Fish Called Wanda, because then you
Yeah.
will. Then you.
Yeah. Yeah. So they do a very good job of making her look frumpy, like the housewife at home, and then, boy, is there a transformation. There's
there
a
is.
big makeover, and then she's in that outfit the rest of the movie.
Yep.
Which I don't think I realized before this rewatch, that she's just in that her hooker dress the rest of the movie.
I thought it was so funny how the hooker dress came to be too. That it was like this like big frilly dress that she like ripped the sleeves and bottom off of.
Yeah. 90s fashion, man.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
I mean,
Well,
well, actually, given the state of their
I feel
marriage,
like that
80s
was a
fashion.
late.
Yeah.
Yes, I was about to say that. I think that's a late 80s dress that she put on for the first time in like years, and she was like, I need to rip these things off. I need to rip-"
It was really like Chris Tucker Fifth Element dress, and like I'm here for those kind. Like that's fun for me.
Mhm.
Yeah. I keep slipping into the
Did you add
Schwarzenegger. No, I keep.
Schwarzenegger accent?
No, I did not. It just keeps slipping out. Like, what did you guys think of her performance? Jamie Lee Curtis, great to work with.
I mean, she was incredible. She was incredible. I mean, it's what you said, where she does this good job of like being like the like kind of put off housewife for a while, and then does this really cool transformation. And specifically, like what really gripped me in this movie was that scene when she's in the interrogation room, and they're like, "Why did you do this? If you love your husband," and she's like, "I just wanted to do something. I spent so much of my life not doing something." And I'm like, "Yes, me. That's me."
Yeah.
And like it's such a good scene and says so much about her character. I like it.
Especially after they show dealing with trying to make up her mind whether to go or not, and then she has that limit where she's like, no, I don't want to do this. No, this is not, and then of course they break in. They literally saw off half of the trailer, which is great. It's one thing about this movie. This is the perfect movie to show someone and be like, this is why they made movies making fun of action movies, because of the ridiculousness that happens, like, is in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they saw off the side of the trailer. They completely destroy a bathroom. And one of the things that stood out to me, and I know this is going to be a little ridiculous, but the one thing that stood out to me is the main terrorist guy has his like mini AK-47, and he shoots through all of the bathroom stalls, which is something you see in a lot of action movies. Like that happens. The funny part to me is that those guns are automatic rifles. You shoot, you pull the trigger, they just spit bullets out, just one after the other. The amount of bullet holes for how long he was holding the trigger down does not correlate at all, and is cartoonish, the amount of bullet holes that show up in the bathroom stall doors. And I laughed at that, because I haven't seen this in close to 20 years. And so, like, that was one of those things that I like saw as an adult that I'm like, yeah, that's just ridiculous.
It's over the top, but it's not, and it's ridiculous, but it's not like taking itself seriously. Like, I think everything that is everything that is over the top is done intentionally, because it's so insane. Because it's pretty much a parody of action movies.
Well,
It's
I
a
was going to
parody.
ask how much of this was a parody, because I mean, at one point, Arnold Schwarzenegger is in a glass elevator pointing a gun at another person in
Yeah.
a glass elevator, but also he's riding a horse.
So
That's insane.
James Cameron wanted to make a comedy, so he hired a team of comedy writers, and then fired them all because he wasn't happy with the results. They left 2 jokes in, and I'll ask you later if you can guess which one of them is. But then he just took a stab at it himself. So it's James Cameron's take on comedy. So it's not like super funny jokes, and like it's just like what would be the most ridiculous thing, like from the director of Terminator and Aliens. What do I think would be funny here? And it's a different kind of comedy where you get like Shane Black, who goes in with like, it's very dialogue heavy comedy. Like it's very quippy and jokey. With James Cameron, it's more like, okay, this is going to be ridiculous because we're going to have a gun fall down the steps for 2 minutes straight and just keep shooting and take out everyone. Like that's the comedy here. It's not like we're gonna see her face like while it's happening. It's gonna, and like Schwarzenegger making a joke about it afterwards. There's no line after that. He just looks at her like, not bad. Like he's impressed. Like there's it's not a comedy in words. It's a comedy of the actions. Like the comedy is in the scene
It's a slapstick
descriptions.
action movie.
Yes,
But it doesn't even lean that close into slapstick, though.
it doesn't.
Because I feel like if it was like really slapstick, like Schwarzenegger would have like tripped on the ice getting out of the lake or something like that, or like more like overtly funny things would have happened.
Yeah. What I mean is that like it sticks to the action movie tropes, but the action of the action movie is the slapstick. So like the villain rolls off the Harrier jump jet and onto the Sidewinder, and then he gets stuck, and then Arnold shoots the Sidewinder through the building and takes out a helicopter.
That was one of the jokes, by the way.
That's the slapstick.
Arnold's one-liner right there had to have been one of the jokes that they wrote.
And yeah, so that, and for me, one of my favorite after action statements. That's what I call them anyway. I know it's a lot of words. One of my favorite is when he takes out like 12 guys and she's hiding behind the pallet of the stack of pallets. Mm-hmm. And he walks off and she stands up and goes, "I married Rambo." Because she just saw him kill 12 guys in like 4 different ways.
One of the things that was left in from the writers, the comedy writers from this, was a Schwarzenegger line. Can you guys guess which line it was?
There
were 2 lines that I was going to be like, I'm going to bring up these 2 lines during the show, and I can't remember either of them. So
it has to be the one where he, just as he fires the bad guy on the rocket. Yeah. That one has to be from the original.
You fired. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is that one of them?
That's one of them.
Yes.
At least according to IMDb. I'm not sure what the other one was. But yeah.
Oh, I love that.
What did you guys think of Tom Arnold in this?
He was the guy in the van, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the guy in the van. He was my favorite line of his, and it's horrible. And I'm actually kind of happy that these jokes aren't really around anymore. But it's when he says, "Women, you can't live with them, and you can't kill them." Like, it's such a horrible joke, but it's his character because he's been divorced 3 times. Like,
yeah. And they pulled some stuff from his actual divorce in real life into the movie. Like, there's a line. God. There's a line in the movie about she even took the ice cube trays. Like, who takes the ice cube trays?
Yeah.
That's something that his ex-wife Roseanne Barr did in their divorce.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so specific.
Yeah.
So that line has made it through my entire life that whenever anyone tells me that they've gotten a divorce, and if it's appropriate to make a joke, I will always ask them. And I've done this like 4 times throughout my life because of this movie. I've always asked them, "Do you still have ice cube trays?" Because of this movie, I've done that.
How many people have got that reference when you ask them? Or are they like, what is he asking?
2. Two
have gotten
people
the
got
reference.
that reference.
That's incredible.
2 out of the 3.
I guarantee you, I've seen this movie. I've had this conversation. If that ever happens to me and you ask me that question, I won't get it. I'll forget straight away.
I'm trying to think what else we can talk about here.
I have something that's really
yes.
funny, and this is, I know that sometimes on this podcast we'll pull open IMDb to like look at facts while we're doing it. I've done the same. Everyone, do yourself a favor and look at Marshall Manesh's picture on IMDb, or just go to True Lies entry in IMDb and scroll down a bit. It's incredible. It's been distracting me this whole time. I promise I'm still contributing to conversation. But
Who?
Marshall Manesh. Or just go to True Lies and scroll down on the actor list. Isn't that so good?
How
I love it.
Marshall Manesh is Rajit from How I Met Your Mother. So it's just his picture of him saying hello, like.
But it's hello underneath it. It's so good.
Yeah.
So I have 2 things.
Okay.
To continue to talk. Okay, so Grant Helsva, am I pronouncing that last name?
No idea.
He's
Helzoff.
the 3rd person on
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's team.
Yeah.
What was his last name? How do you say that?
I have no idea. I just guessed. Just
Okay.
move on.
So yes, so we're moving on. So him, I can, because of this movie, I have a triple feature for him of movies that I like. So of all the actors that I'll have like random ones, is True Lies, Dante's Peak, because he's part of the volcano research team in Dante's Peak, and Congo, because he's part of the research team in Congo. So there you have a 90s movie trilogy of the movies that I really like that he is in, that I've only ever seen him in. So yeah, so there's that. And this movie contributed to my early teens obsession with Harrier jump jets.
That's very specific.
Because I thought they were like the coolest, most like techno things like out there at the time. And watching this movie now and knowing all of the stuff that I've looked up afterwards, that thing needed gas like 3 times in the course of the movie, just because of like they need to refuel after takeoff.
Yeah.
Because of them being vertical and trying to keep up. So like he would need to have refilled that thing like 3 times. But anyway, it's an action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Physics it's not a thing. So.
So one last thing I want to talk about is they did do a TV version of this in where is it? It's actually a remake of I want to say French film. Yeah, a French film. Yeah, called the Jackpot.
But it's in French.
La Totale.
Ooh, I like that.
But they remade this as a TV show. Wait, what? I thought it was older than this, but it came out last year.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was on CBS, I think. It starred Steve Howey, Ginger Gonzaga, and Mike Gorman. Huh. Yeah, I don't know if it was a comedy. Oh yeah, action adventure comedy. So it's very CBS, NCIS style type stuff. So.
Oh, so is it like a heist of the week kind of show?
I don't know. It follows the same plot where, but I think so. In this one, she is a bored linguistics professor who discovers after 17 years that her tech salesman husband is secretly a top international spy. Now she has a use for her martial art workouts and endless supply of languages.
Oh, come on now.
Oh
I,
man.
That's
I
a funny premise. I love that.
that is a really funny premise. I love the idea of just like I'm just a hyper competent housewife who does martial arts and knows
Yeah.
8 languages.
Yep.
I'm so bored. Like I think that's such a funny setup. I
Yeah.
love that.
I might have to watch this now.
That is very.
I
funny.
thought it was gonna be
won an
harder to
award, I
find.
see.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta let me know how it is.
I probably will not watch it. It's this or the bear, Devin. Which do you want?
All right. Go for the bear. I'll take the
Okay.
bullet and I'll watch this one.
Okay.
We'll split it.
Sounds good. I would love to see a sequel to this.
Yeah.
Just to see that married couple dynamic in a spy movie. I think James Cameron's too busy making sequels to his other movie about blue monkeys. So yeah,
I want sequel to this one first.
yeah.
Do you really think he's gonna make it to Avatar 7? Like, do you think he's really going to?
Yeah.
I feel like we're mostly burnt out now and we're on 2. We've got 5 more of these coming. Like, at some point, like, take them away.
It didn't help that he took so long to get the second one made and put out. If
Yeah.
he wouldn't have waited so long to make the second one, people would actually care. Or at least I would have still cared. At
No,
least
you're
4
right.
years after. I would
exactly
have cared,
right.
and I just flat out don't anymore. And that's why
Yeah.
like I have no interest in the Avatar series.
Is there one coming out this year or is it next year?
Let me see.
As we all Google.
19th December 2025.
Okay. So we have to wait
For
another
Avatar.
year for Avatar 3.
That's.
Hmm.
I mean, at least he's doing them right. Right? He's not rushing them out and they're not slapdash. But, man, I was with you, Ryan, though. Like, when Avatar 1 first came out, I was all jazzed on it and would have seen a sequel in
Yeah.
a heartbeat and would have loved it. And just time has passed and I can't stop thinking about Unobtainium. And
Yeah.
it just has soured on me.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, like, to give you, like, just so people know, like, how enthusiastic, like, my wife and I bought each other, like, we each bought a Blu-ray copy when it came out because
Aw.
we didn't realize that the other one had bought it. So we have 2 Blu-ray copies of the original Avatar because we like the movie that much. And
so
now we're at the
cute.
point where we just flat out don't care. Like, you know, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, James.
All right. Well, Ryan, you mentioned before doing like a triple feature based off of the guy on the third guy on the team. But we're kind of continuing a theme next week with the main actor in your film. For next week, what are you having us watch next week, Ryan?
Well, everyone knows that I'm a huge fan of Bill Paxton because he is in almost every single, like, property that I loved as a kid. So we're gonna do a movie that he actually stars in, called Twister. One of my favorite top 3 films of all time. So I cannot wait to have you guys see Twister. I love this movie.
And
like,
just
Just
in,
talking about
to
this.
its core.
and just in time for the sequel.
Yep.
Yes.
That's incredible. I was just talking about this movie last week.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So tune in next week. We're gonna do a different day next week, probably Monday night. We'll be live.
Right.
So stay tuned for that. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and listen to You Have to Watch This podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We are getting the backlog out there, so stay tuned for that. We're going to try to get a few more out between now and then. So until next time, sorry, until next time for You Have to Watch This podcast, I'm Anand.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devin. I can't do it. I tried.
You're fired. We'll see you next week.